Alright guys, we are here for match 3 with the list that you see on screen and all of its beauty and glory. We're playing Simian Spirit Guides and Karn the Great Creators. If this is confusing to you, check out match 1. You'll see all the details of where this deck list came from, the idea of it, even the 73 cards. There were 2 cards that were missing and I took the personal liberty of adding in 2 cards. I hope that can be forgiven. And yeah, I will see you guys in the match. 0-2. You hate to see it. I hate to see it. You hate to see it. But you know what? The record is not the intention for this gameplay. 1-4, 0-5. It's fine with me. We're playing to learn and hopefully have a little bit of fun. And that's all I can say about it. Hopefully you guys appreciate this content, and what makes it worth it is your support. So if you do want to support the channel, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm just rambling on and on as we jump into this match here. Hopefully we'll be on the play. And we are on the draw. But that's fine. We'll settle. As we get a turn 2 Dryad hand. I mean, with a hand like this, I can't complain about being on the draw because this hand is one land away from perfection. We even get a turn 1 Grazer. Ugh, my heart melts at turn 1 Arboreal Grazer. If yours doesn't, I feel sorry for you. And we will absolutely keep this beautiful hand, as our opponent has revealed a Lurrus of the Dreamed in here. This means our Grazer will probably be doing double duty, blocking. Just kidding, our opponent is playing Giver of Runes. This is probably Devoted Druid. I think that makes the most sense. We'll see. And I mean, yeah, let's play our Cool Forest and get ready for this Dryad on turn 2. Putting our Tolaria West producing mana into play, i.e. the one that taps for blue, and we'll cast a Dryad this upcoming turn, and we have double untap source, so that means we can play a turn 3 Titan here. Inkmoth Nexus. Our opponent is playing Hammer Time? Wow! I have not played against Hammer Time a whole lot. I don't think I've ever played against Hammer Time on the YouTube channel. I mean, we could just die to this. Alright. Let's hope we're not dead this upcoming turn. It is possible. Karn, huh? No, I don't think I will. Let's go with Dryad. Set up for a Titan this upcoming turn. Although, just casting a Titan might not even be good enough, so pass it back. Excuse me. Something's been bothering my throat a little recently. Alright, opponent, do your thing. Let's see the kill condition here. Activate Nexus. This one has Infect. For those of you who do not know, play a Shadow Spear. This one will give +1/+1 trample and lifelink. Sure, we're taking 3. JK, block with Arboreal Grazer? Oh, we can't. They're giving pro green. Okay, well, this is a very slow clock from our opponent. That's fine, as they do give protection from green, so we cannot block. Alright, I guess we're just slamming a Primeval Titan. Actually, we can use Karn, so our opponent can't equip. How does Karn interact with Sigarda's Aid? So it auto-attaches an equipment whenever that equipment enters the battlefield, so it doesn't do anything against Colossus Hammer specifically. We can actually Karn for Pithing Needle and play it naming Inkmoth Nexus. That's kind of enticing. I remember how I said I don't think I will earlier, but I think I will, guys. Actually, before I commit anything, let's make sure we have a Pithing Needle in the sideboard, and we do. I'm sold. It's over, guys. It's been decided. Karn the Great Creator, into play. Not the one you expected, huh, opponent? We can actually... No, we can't cast Explore this turn, too, sadly. Not that much value, guys. Come on, be reasonable. Actually, we can do even better than Pithing Needle here. We can get Liquimetal Coating. Actually, no. Coating, they can activate their Nexus in response. and then play a hammer. So yeah, we actually do need Pithing Needle here. Yep. Let's name the old Ink Moth Nexus. There we go. It's done and over with. We'll swing for 2 because it's not like we could block with it anyways. Pass it back to our opponent. They can't even equip their Shadow Spear and clock Karn with their Giver. Not that it would kill Karn in the first place, but still. Our opponent is passing back. That is what I would call glorious. Just kidding. Second main phase. They're doing something. Getting Luris. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You know what time it is? I know what time it is. I dare say it is primeval time. Alright, let's cast this Summoner's Pact first. All cheesy jokes aside. Let me know in the comments if you like my cheesy commentary. And we might have lethal here. 2 Valor Cuts times 2 lands is 4 triggers, which is oh, our opponent is scooping to the Primeval Titan. Okay, cool. I mean, we didn't actually have lethal there, but I guess our opponent didn't really have anything going for them. So let's bring in the Dismembers, the Rex Sages, the Force. Probably Boil against the mono white deck. I think that seems like a good move. Ballista and Explosives seem like good ones. See, and this is the weirdness with Karn lists. I would love to have all of my Engineered Explosives in the main board for games 2 and 3 here. So we can just cast them and blow up our opponent's 1-drops and make life good. But then we can't Karn minus for them, which is very strange. Maybe we bring in 1 Explosives and leave the other one on the board. And I'm not sure that Walking Ballista is particularly good to just draw naturally either. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Should we be bringing in all of the Explosives or leaving them to potentially Karn out? I think Karn is reasonable just to have to stop our opponent from equipping it naturally, although I don't think they do that, to be honest. I think equipping naturally is something that their deck cheats around in order to get the powerful effect that it does. So maybe Karn just being in play is not really all that powerful here. Although if our opponent has something like Stoneforge Mystic to go along with what they're doing, then being able to cleanly answer things like Batterskull or the swords could be big game. Of course, Karn can uptick on the Batterskull itself, and it becomes a 5/5 for 1 turn, yes. But a equipment, while a creature, cannot be attached to another creature. So the equipment, Batterskull, falls off of the Germ token, and the Germ token dies, of course. And then, once the Batterskull turns back into a non-creature artifact, it does nothing. It can't be equipped, it can't be bounced, or anything like that. So that is interesting. I think for that reason, we probably want Karns. I think Simian Spirit Guide might be insanely good here. Let's trim the Explorers. They're probably a little slow. Razor Blocks, which is surprisingly relevant. Zeus is good. All this is good. Bajuka Bog, not... Actually, our opponent is playing Luris, but I don't want to play around that. I think we do want the other Explosive in the main, actually. And let's get rid of these Caverns, I guess. Speed sideboarding. And yeah. Okay. We have the Explosive... Both. My bad. We have both of the Explosives in our opening hand here. And a Dismember. I mean... I'd have to be crazy to mulligan this, right? Giver. Ornithopter. Sure. I think we want to go ahead and commit Explosives on 1 to the board immediately. It gives our opponent the forewarning of it, but the fact is we might need to... What is happening? We might need to be able to blow it up a turn from now, in all honesty, and we're not going to have the ability unless we just go ahead and cast it, so... And, by the way, if you're wondering how Giver of Runes interacts with Engineered Explosives, the short answer is it doesn't. Protection does not prevent, total board destruction effects. There's a acronym for protection, which is DEBT, DET. It prevents damaging, it prevents enchanting, it prevents blocking or targeting by things of that quality. So protection from green means that you can't damage the thing with a green source, for example, by blocking or attacking. If the damage would be dealt to the thing with protection, then instead it isn't. And that's kind of the long and short of it. Hmm. Dismember the Pure Steel Paladin? I think it probably makes sense to do this. I doubt that we're losing to a bunch of things soon. And if our opponent does cast a equipment, then we can respond with the Dismember if we want to. I don't know. I'm pretty inclined to hold up Engineered Explosives here. Play the Ghost Quarter, sure. We can Shock Stomping Ground to cast Dryad this upcoming turn, so... Yeah, I don't know. If our opponent commits mana to put a equipment into play, then we might just go ahead and dismember this guy. Oh, actually, we can't dismember it. Giver runes. Well, I guess we're holding up activating Engineered Explosives. Inkmoth Nexus is mildly annoying. Our opponent's Giver actually can protect from colorless, so that would stop our Ghost Quarter from destroying this. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong. Alright, we're not going to block. I think we might as well go ahead and dismember this Pure Steel Paladin. Actually, Dismember plus Ghost Quarter is a pretty good combo against this Inkmoth Nexus. I think I've convinced myself not to. Maybe I'll get punished for it, but... We can pop this Explosives now to get our opponent's Giver runes out of play, but that may not be worth it, I don't think. Alright, well, now we don't have to take damage to hold up Dismember and Explosives, so that's nice. We're just playing Amulet Control over here. No big deal. Don't even worry about it. We were one land away from having enough lands to trigger Valakut repeatedly with a bounce land. Activate Inkmoth Nexus. We can Ghost Quarter this now, and our opponent would have to activate it again in response to give it protection with the Giver, so I'm pretty inclined to just go ahead and fire off this GQ. If they do activate it and give protection, then we can Dismember, so it's probably fine. We go down a land drop, but I mean, at least our opponent doesn't have an Inkmoth Nexus in play, so. And I'm kind of inclined to just go ahead and pop Explosives so our Dismember is good enough, but I don't know. Our opponent could have something like Apostle's Blessing as well. Not... I don't know. I think I'm just going to pop the Explosives now. Could be wrong. Nah, I'll do it on the instep so we can prevent them from getting another Giver in play before we untap. And after we Explosives. I don't know. Maybe it's too hasty. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I guess they could have... two instant speed, like, equip effects, or even just two equip effects in general. So, like, they play land, they play a hammer. They play something that would equip the Pure Steel, and we Dismember, and in response, they equip it at instant speed. I think there are things that do that. I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just popping the Explosives. I want to use our Fell mana here. Could be wrong, but I'm just impulsive, I guess. Because the only... Oh, that's a nice one. The only card that I can think of that does that sort of effect at instant speed is red. There's a red card. It's like something like Gravatic Punch or something. I don't know what it is. But maybe I'll include a picture of it here for you guys to look at. But there's a instant speed card that for one red will equip an equipment to a creature. So, for example, if I were to Dismember the Pure Steel Paladin after they use some effect to equip it, and then at instant speed they did it again, that would get around the Dismember because it would no longer die the Dismember after the second equip resolves. There's the hammer. Okay. That's fine. Oh, they get to draw a card? Maybe we should have Dismembered here. Oops. Alright, well here goes nothing. Fire it off now. Should have already done this, but that's okay. And now we can play EE on 1 and blow it up and things are fine. So, hopefully our opponent just plays another 1-drop here. And maybe our mistake of letting our opponent draw a card will turn into, instead, a benefit of having let our opponent draw the card because they just cast it and get one extra card blown up by the explosives. That would be amazing, but that's probably asking a little too much. Okay, and I think the best way to not die to Colossus Hammer here is to just go ahead and play and pop explosives on one, so that is what I'm going to do. Do we hold up the explosives? Nah, we can't let our opponent untap with Giver, I think, so let's just go ahead and do this now. Boom. And this is why we wanted the explosives in the main board, by the way. Could play Growth Chamber here. Then we lose access to Bounce Land. Garenbrig lets us cast Titan this upcoming turn. No, it doesn't. Alright, let's play this Talari West tapped. Pass it back. I keep getting fooled into thinking that this Stomping Ground is a green-red dual land, the Gruul Turf here. Not a safe assumption. Not a safe assumption at all, but... Alright, Aven Mind Sensor. That one's kind of annoying. Well, I'm glad we didn't try Transmuting Talari West. Giver, okay. Well, we're just losing to our opponent's beatdown plan here. Right, Valakut off the top would be great. Titan would not actually be great. I think Valakut is our best draw. Titan is, like, acceptable. Karn would be pretty good. We can get Ballista to deal with this Mind Sensor. As that one is in the sideboard, if I'm not mistaken. At least we can block the Grazer now, so that's nice. We'll play Grazer. Block the Grazer. Block the Mind Sensor with our Grazer now. Let's get this Garenbrig into play, I suppose. I'm not playing around a combo at this point. I think we just need to get on the board here, so... Oh, we can't even block the Mind Sensor because of our opponent's Giver of Runes, so... Okay. Pass back. Keeping our Bounce Land in hand for use with Field of Dead or Valakut. Yeah, we just basically need to draw Valakut at this point. Which our Giver of Runes can actually give something protection from Colorless to counter our Valakut trigger, at least during one turn, so... Cranial Plating. Yeah, that one's kind of annoying. We're almost dead now. One more artifact and we're dead. Okay, guys. Valakut off the top. Valakut off the top. Valakut. 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 Primeval Titan. Nope, that one doesn't do it. I guess our opponent might forget to give protection. Nah, that's not going to happen. Let's just go ahead and concede. Of course, we can't search with our Primeval Titan for anything relevant here, because even if we found a Radiant Fountain, we'd still be dead on board, so... I mean, I guess our Titan could have found us one of our Valkuts in the top 4 cards. Maybe not casting the Titan there was a punt, but... Oh well. Explorer actually doesn't seem that bad here. Our opponent maybe is not as fast as we'd expect, especially when we have interaction, but... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything I particularly want to change. Maybe Spirit Guides are a little ambitious. To be honest, I'm kind of confused about the role of Spirit Guide in this build, because being faster is not something I ever particularly felt like Amulet needed. So, like, in a matchup like this, like, are we supposed to be faster, or are we supposed to slow down and bring in Explorers to try to find our way to explosives and stuff? Like, I feel like it would be better to be casting Explorer than using a Spirit Guide in any case, but I could be wrong. Grazer blocks theoretically, although realistically our opponent has a Giver of Runes, and our Grazer doesn't do anything relevant anymore, which is kind of sad. I mean, I don't think we can afford to change anything. We might need Explorers over these Spirit Guides so that we can find an answer to Mind Sensor, though. So I'm going to bring in the Explorers and cut most of the Spirit Guides. We'll leave one in here. Yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely play first. I was not expecting Mind Sensor, not going to lie. And this hand... It wouldn't even be a consideration if this Explorer was a Spirit Guide, so there's that. We can explore on turn 2 and have a turn 5 Titan thanks to Garenbrig. We can draw Amulet, Explosives, Force of Vigor. Amulet wouldn't even be that good. It would just let us turn 4 a Titan instead. I don't know, though. It has Titan mana. It's not very fast. If our opponent has a fast combo hand, then we just lose. I feel like we have to mulligan this, sadly. Well, this hand definitely beats the fast combo hands. And we have a fountain to stave off some of our life loss from these dismembers. Yeah, I mean, I guess we keep this. Probably binning Forest here. The fountain gains us life, which is relevant. Ghost Hoarder answers Inkmoth Nexus, which is very relevant. The Forest is an untapped green source that allows us to put a Garenbrig into play untapped if our opponent can answer our Amulet, which I'm not really expecting, but now let's just get rid of the Forest here. Well, see, if we do that, then we're relying on being able to play Gruul Turf multiple times in one turn in order to actually cast a Titan, as we otherwise may not have enough green mana. It's kind of rough. I'm going to bin the Fountain here, actually. 2 life probably is not worth sacrificing our potential ability to cast Titan going forward. I could see a timeline where we have to put this Gruul Turf in play and keep it in play for whatever reason. Say we miss a couple land drops and we don't want to fall too far behind. Yeah, Midnight, okay. Steel Shaper's Gift to find Colossus Hammer. See, we think we're having a prime time over here, but our opponent can give their creatures +10/+10, and I mean, at the cost of their creature's ability to fly, but I don't know. I mean, what do you think? 10 +10/+10, is that pretty good? Especially on an Inkmoth Nexus, it's fantastic. We are not at risk of dying to an Inkmoth Nexus here, so for that reason I'm playing out the Valakut. Our opponent could not attack with a Inkmoth Nexus if they played one right now, so we can wait one more turn on this Ghost Hoarder, at the very least. Dismember is protecting us from something absurd. There is the Inkmoth Nexus. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, well, I did call that one out before we even knew that our opponent was playing it, that it could be possible. So there's that. See what they find. We might have to dismember the Stoneforge now. Cranial Plating. That one doesn't really bother me, in all honesty. Don't think that we're bothering with the Stoneforge Mystic at the moment. We'll take our well-deserved 1 point of damage. That's fine. Why do we have to draw the one Simian Spirit Guide that's still left in our deck? Right now. Why? And I guess we could have played Gruul Turf and picked it back up and used Monkey to block a turn. Simian Spirit Guide, why? Most disappointing Simian Spirit Guide ever. I feel like Simian Spirit Guide is kind of like that, though. When it's good, it's absurd and unfair, and when it's bad, it's a 3-mana 2/2. So, there's that. Alright, opponent. They don't have enough mana to do the hammer thing this turn. So, they're not even going to try to get in for 1 point of damage with an Inkmoth Nexus, though? That's kind of interesting. Oh, okay, they're going ham on this Mimnite. That's intriguing. Well, you know, I just might have to take issue with that, opponent. See, I spoke to the boss, and they weren't a fan. They didn't like the idea at all, sadly, so I'm gonna have to renege that one. Sorry. Paradise Mantle. This allows them to tap a creature for a mana of any color. Okay. Equip the Stoneforge Mystic. Sure, you can get an extra mana. That's cool with me. I mean, we got a Simian Spirit Guide just chilling in our hand here. We got an extra mana too, opponent. You just don't know it yet. Yep. Cranial plating. Do we want to dismember this one? I don't know. What's the clock looking like? +3 plus 0 makes this a 4 power attacker, although we can just block with the Simian Spirit Guide. Like, I mean, okay. Well, we're definitely not dismembering it immediately. There's probably no reason to do that. Right? Simian Spirit Guide, this is your chance for redemption. Okay? Here's what I need you to do, Simian Spirit Guide. I would love if you would either stop the Stoneforge Mystic from attacking in the first place, or block and kill the Stoneforge Mystic. Even better. That is your goal, Simian Spirit Guide. That's what we need you to do, okay? I'll accept either. And we will leave our Gruul Turf in play here since we have another bounce land. So continue to make a land drop progress here. Wouldn't it be funny if I accidentally clicked Exile for mana? I'm pretty sure you can Control Z to undo that since it is a mana ability. But it would give everyone a little bit of a heart attack. I'm kind of tempted to do it just for the content, but no, we don't do that here. Alright. Cast. Go to town, monkey. Our opponent is just so shocked at this Simian Spirit Guide that has been thrown into play. They had to pause for a second and just think to themselves. Like, our opponent is playing a Simian Spirit Guide. What does that mean? What did I not understand? What did I not get? Where did it all go wrong? That's right. This changes all your preconceived notions, opponent. We could be holding up a lightning bolt, which, by the way, is the reason why I picked up and tapped the forest and not the Valakut. Okay, you have a creature Inkmoth Nexus. That's cool. This does increase the attack of our opponent's Stoneforge Mystic by 1. That's a thing. Equip. Okay. Sure. Attack? Yeah, okay, go ahead. Do we go for this Dismember yet? That is the question. We could take a hit for 5 and then go for the Dismember this upcoming turn. Or we could Dismember now. It technically cuts our opponent off of a mana, but it does give them more information. They'll have to equip and animate their Inkmoth Nexus and try to attack with it again in one more turn, and that represents another 3 mana of theirs just by that combination alone. Is that worth not dismembering immediately? I mean, we could lose to beats from the other Inkmoth Nexus if we're not careful. They can also flash in a Colossus Hammer, and that would put us in a pretty bad spot. Because then we'd be forced to both Dismember and Ghost Quarter now, and leave them with a potential lethal attacker this upcoming turn. I'm inclined not to block here. It's a little risky. It means that we have fewer turns against their surviving Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, are they going for it? Oh, they're okay. No, they're making another. They're making another artifact here. 6 infect versus 5. Does that change anything? I think it's fine to throw off this Dismember here. We don't want to lead off on the Ghost Quarter, as we could just play a Primeval Titan this upcoming turn if we drew a Titan or a Pact. But I think the fact that our opponent only had the mana from their Stoneforge Mystic here to defend their Inkmoth makes me want to just go ahead and fire off the Dismember. Alright, Titan off the top. Or Engineer Disposes would be pretty alright as well. Disposes on 2 would get rid of their Stoneforge and their plating, making their Inkmoth a 1/1 attacker every turn. I think that our opponent's Colossus Hammer does not matter anymore. There are like 2 mana creatures that will attach an equipment to a creature when they come into play. I don't know. Maybe we would need to play around that. We'll see. Or we could just draw a bounce land. That's cool. Alright, we'll play our forest and pass it back. Not attacking with the monkey. We need this crucial blocker for our opponent's Stoneforge Mystic. Pass it back. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Just, awaiting our death. Or hopefully impending win. Another Stoneforge Mystic. No. No. No, 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 no. Not that one. Not another Colossus Hammer. No. Yeah. Okay. Well, they're probably going to put this on the Stoneforge Mystic that can attack. We get one turn to block, and then we're dead to the Stoneforge and need to find a way to either kill our opponent immediately or a way to kill our opponent's Stoneforges. At least the one that's equipped. You know, we can actually plus Karn on our opponent's Colossus Hammer that's equipped and pass it back. And it will be unequipped by nature of the fact that it's a creature, which is kind of intriguing. We'll take our 1 infect damage if that's what's happening. Our opponent's hammering their Inkmoth Nexus. That seems suspect. It definitely seems like it would have been a better play for them to equip their Stoneforge Mystic, right? I mean, we have a Ghost Quarter on board to answer this Nexus, so unless our opponent has a protection spell, which they have no mana available, I think they just tunnel visioned into hammering their Inkmoth. Like, somebody in the chat in the comments, tell me that I'm wrong here, because isn't this just a 2-turn clock? Like, okay, Titan. Well, we would have had the sick tech play against our opponent's hammer if they had put it on the Stoneforge Mystic, but that's cool. That's cool. Karn. What are we doing with this Karn? We can get and play Liquid Metal Coating. That'll be a way to answer our opponent's Inkmoth Nexuses as they come up, and also a way to deny them a mana every turn. Not super most impactful, but that's okay. Pithing Needle permanently deactivates Inkmoth, but I believe that's 2 Inkmoths our opponent has already seen. So probably don't want to go for the Pithing Needle until we know for sure that we need it. Ballista or Worm Coil we can always -4 sooner. I mean, later rather than sooner. I think we're just going to want the utility of having access to a Liquid Metal Coating immediately rather than anything else. We don't need the Pithing Needle naming Colossus Hammer because Karn turns that off. Yeah, I guess we just want coding here. Kind of weird, but okay. We'll do this thing. Float. Pick up the forest, I suppose. Trying to leave this Valcut into play so that we can use our Dryad, if at all possible. Probably still not attacking with the Simian. Don't think that's the way that we're winning. Question is, are we coding anything during our opponent's upkeep? I can't think of anything that we would want to coding just because they played it. I'm going to go ahead and coding the Stoneforge that has the mantle attached, as this cuts them off of a mana. They can still attack with it, sadly, but this also stops them from activating the Stoneforge if that's something they wanted to do. They're fetching. Do they have a Dryad Arbor? That would be hilarious. I would have mad respect for our opponent if they played a copy of Dryad Arbor. We'd definitely be coding and killing that thing immediately, but it looks like our opponent's on the casual nothing plan over here. We can play a 3/3 Ballista and then start just putting a counter on every turn. We could get a Worm Coil into play. Seems pretty good. The third Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. What does this get? Another hammer? That actually would be pretty annoying. We're probably going to have to use the Karn tech play of plussing on the equipment. The hammer, of course. I mean, I don't know. We still let them attack with their 1/1 Colossus hammer if we do that, but they're attacking because maybe we don't see it. No! Oh, wait, no. Yeah, whatever we block. Dang it. Whatever we block, our opponent is going to hammer the other one, and we're going to be dead to exact seat. That is so disappointing. Oh my. Man, that was exact lethal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sigarda's Aid is a very good card. Let's take our lethal damage and look sad. Alright, draw a card. Magic Online won't let me, so we have no way of knowing whether we would have drawn the Titan to win or not. Sad. Yikes. Well, that was kind of rough. Let me know what you think of the Hammer Time matchup. I do not play it often, and I do not consider myself an expert in this matchup by any means. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that our Karn could have done there, to be honest. I guess we could have played a Ballista for one, expecting them to have a hammer and attack with 2 creatures, and we need to block both. Is that reasonable? Does it make sense to just get the coding there? Let me know. Maybe that play would have saved us the game. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, we're 0-3, but at least we're having fun while we're doing it. And since we can't get any wins or any breaks here, maybe you'll give me a break on the YouTube channel. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Especially comment. I want to know your thoughts on this list. Especially the user who suggested the list. Let me know what your experience has been with Simian Spirit Guides and whatnot. And I apologize if this is not the performance you expected from the list, but trust me, I'm trying my best. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you for joining me along this ride. I will see you guys hopefully for the next match. This is Redface Menace, signing off.